What does the world need most? Doctors, teachers, scientists, or religious leaders? What do you need most? When your child gets sick, who do you go to? The imam or the doctor? When your child needs education, who do you need? The priest or the teacher? When your house is on fire, who do you call? Prayer or the fire department? The answer is obvious. But then why are there 365 worship places for every one hospital? Why are there over 100 million religious leaders, but the world is still dying from hunger? Why are billions of dollars spent on prayer but diseases remain unsolved? Because humanity made the wrong choice, and today we're paying the price for that wrong choice. Imagine this. Put 50 religious leaders in a room. Let them pray from morning to night. What happens? Does a child get fed? No. Does a sick person heal? No. Does a war stop? No. Does a child learn to read and write? No. No concrete results. Now put 50 doctors in a hospital. Let them work from morning to night. What happens? 50 surgeries, 200 examinations, 500 prescriptions, hundreds of lives saved. Put 50 teachers in a school. Let them teach from morning to night. What happens? 1,000 children learn to read and write, learn mathematics, gain a future. Put 50 scientists in a laboratory. Let them research from morning to night. What happens? New medicine, new treatment, new solution. Humanity progresses. But 50 religious leaders, they just talk, they just preach, and they produce no concrete results. This is humanity's real problem. Why do they talk about the afterlife? Religious leaders only know one domain, the afterlife, heaven, hell, the hereafter. Why? Because they have nothing to show in this world. In this world there are results, measurements, success and failure. And religious leaders produce zero in these measurements. So they change the field, they change the timeline. Not now, later, after death. Do you know why the afterlife is safe? Because it's unprovable, can't be tested, can't be falsified. Nobody can say, show me. A perfect escape. A doctor doesn't say, you'll heal later, treats now. A teacher doesn't say, you'll understand in the afterlife, teaches now. An engineer doesn't say, be patient, it's fate, builds now. Only religious leaders postpone everything, because they have no solution for now. They produce fear. Religious leaders produce fear. If you don't do this, you'll burn. If you don't do that, you'll be punished. If you don't obey, you'll be destroyed. This isn't the language of hope. This is the language of control. A frightened person doesn't question. A person who doesn't question is controlled, and a controlled person is exploited. Why do people listen to this? Because humanity's greatest fear is ceasing to exist. Religious leaders press exactly here. When you die, it doesn't end. There's an afterlife. Prepare for it. This comforts people. But it doesn't save this world. The biggest wars in history, the bloodiest massacres, a significant portion were done in the name of religion. Crusades, 2 million dead. God willed it. 30 Years' War, 8 million dead. Sectarian conflict, Indonesian massacre, 1 million dead. Holy duty against communists, in God's name. Holy duty. We are right. These sentences didn't bring peace. They convinced people to kill. If there were no religion in this world, would humanity be perfect? No. But we can be sure of this. Nobody would kill in God's name. Nobody would massacre saying holy duty. Nobody could hide behind an unquestionable authority. If religions really brought peace, the most religious countries would be the most peaceful countries. But they're not. Most peaceful countries, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, low religiosity. Least peaceful countries, Afghanistan, Yemen, Syria, Iraq, high religiosity. This is not a coincidence, because peace is achieved not with prayer, but with institutions, with justice systems, with education, with economy, with science, with reason. None of these are religious leaders' areas of expertise. 60 million worship places, 165,000 hospitals. For every one hospital, 365 worship places. Yemen, 50,000 imams, 10,000 doctors. Result, high death rate. Egypt, 180,000 mosques, 1,800 hospitals. Result, healthcare collapsed. Pakistan, 30,000 madrasas. Students can't read or write. What did humanity choose? Worship places. What did humanity need? Hospitals. If your child is dying, what do they need? A mosque or a hospital? When your child gets sick, who do you take them to? The imam or the doctor? If your answer is doctor, then why is more money spent on imams? Saudi Arabia, imam, $3,000 to $10,000. Teacher, $2,000 to $4,000. Turkey, imam, 25,000 Turkish lira. Teacher, 22,000 Turkish lira. Who is more valuable, the one teaching your child to read and write, or the one reciting prayers? When your child gets sick, who do you need? The teacher or the imam? The answer is obvious, but the salary is opposite. Vatican, 100 billion plus wealth. Hospital investment zero. WHO, 6 billion budget. Serves 194 countries. With the Vatican's wealth, the entire world's health system could be financed for 16 years. But what does the Vatican do? Gold palace, Pope's ring, Cardinal's car. Who saves lives? Who with 6 billion? Who saves nobody? Vatican with 100 billion. Religious leaders sanctify pain. Suffering is noble. Pain brings you closer to God. Why do they sanctify pain? Because if pain is solved, they become unnecessary. If hunger ends, who needs prayer? If disease heals, who needs patience? If war ends, who needs sermons? Religious leaders need humanity to suffer, because suffering creates demand for afterlife promises. Science doesn't discriminate. Science doesn't say my belief. Science says evidence. Cancer treatment works for Christians and Muslims. Vaccines work for atheists and believers. Mathematics is true for Buddhists and Jews. Science doesn't discriminate. Religion does. Religion divides believer from non-believer, separates us from them, polarizes right from wrong. This language doesn't produce peace. It produces conflict. Now let's ask the final question. What does humanity need? More sermons or more doctors? More religious leaders or more teachers? More prayer or more science? The answer is so obvious that people are afraid to say it. But let's say it today. Humanity doesn't need religious leaders. Humanity needs doctors, teachers, scientists, because they produce concrete results in this world, and real life is here. If you disagree, write in the comments. But first, think honestly. When your child gets sick, who do you go to?